everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about the Knitcrate that finally came in from May. Today, just for some, idea of how long it took, it's June 6th and I only got it maybe 2 days ago. So yeah, it came really late this year, and I know that it's the May one because I haven't gotten the shipping for the June one yet. So I already know. So they have warned everybody that they're very far behind right now. I get it. I understand. I'm not going to be super salty about it because when I started getting the knit crates, they had said that they were really far behind. There's a lot of people who are learning new crafts or getting more into their crafts because we've been on lockdown. Well, not full lockdown, but we've been trying to stay home more for so long. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what's in this one, though, since I did have to wait for it for so long. I was very afraid it was going to be gone while I was out of town. I did go out of town to see a friend of mine. We're both fully vaccinated, and we wanted to spend some time seeing other people. And since I've got a kind of a crowded and small house with my husband and my daughter and me and our 2 cats, I went out to see him in Minnesota for about a week and hung out with him and his cat and some friends that I have out there. And I was afraid that my knit crate was going to end up showing up while I was gone and I was going to be reviewing it super late, but nope, it came on Friday and today is Sunday, so let's open it up. We're going to see what it is. Anyway, we're going to get to the knit crate and I am super excited about that. And here we go. I never noticed this. Oh, I'm such a dork. I can't turn it around because my address is like right there, but it says handle with care, squishy yarn inside. Okay. This is kind of the first time I've been underwhelmed, and oh man, I got another one of these. I'll probably get this to one of my friends that I know does a lot of like sewing and knitting, so I want to see if he wants it. Let's look at, we always look at this for, oh wow. Wow, they gave me like a whole catalog this time. So the yarn I got for the sock club is the vWant Tiptoe sock. It's superwash merino wool, linen, and nylon. This will be really good for a shawl. So this is a sock weight yarn, but I would never wear linen on my feet. I know that sounds weird, but I feel like linen stretches too much. Well, maybe it is. It's the cotton that stretches too much, but linen for me, that is something I want to wear around my neck. I love the feel of linen. Linen gets softer with every wash. I have a tank top I made out of the Kotlin from Knit Picks that I loved. I unfortunately don't fit in anymore. I'm gonna have to make myself a new one. But it was one of my favorite shirts for a while. You can check it out on Ravelry if you want. And I've done some other really fun stuff too with linen. I'm currently working with that Tussakist, which has, I believe, some linen and silk. And it's one of my favorite fibers to work with. I have linen that I want to spin. That's the fiber I'm waiting the longest to spin because I want to be really good at spinning before I actually go into it. I may get some cotton fiber to blend it with though, because linen really does blend well, but 100% linen can be a little bit rustic. But the vWant sock, Tiptoe sock, and this is another green. So this is the only reason that I'm underwhelmed by it is this is basically a muted version of the one that I got last time, that really bright green. That's really all this is, muted version of that. The color is Linen Spray. The 3 colors that were possible were Linen Spray, Tiptoe Through the Tulips, and Not a Cloud in the Sky. I really would have liked Not a Cloud in the Sky, but I think I still have this set to I think I still have this set to neutral colors or something like that, because you can kind of pick what color family you want it in. And if I had to guess, this would be cool, this would be warm, so this is probably neutral. So maybe if I go in and tweak it before next order, it'll, I took this off because it's going to come off anyway because I'm going to wind this right away. I want to have it ready to use. I have used none. No, I've used one of my Knit Crate yarns already, and I feel really bad about that I haven't used that many, but they're all in a queue. I set up the other day, sat down, queued up everything that I know I'm going to make, what I'm going to make with it, set it all up, put it all together, and hopefully by the end of summer, I'm going to have all of the socks that I want knit, and I will have started my summer or Colors of Fall knit along from the Yarniacs. Every year, the Yarniacs podcast does a Colors of Fall knit along, and they have a whole bunch of cool discussions and fun things going on in their Ravelry group. It's fantastic. I have participated in years past, but this is the first year that I've got everything all set already, all the yarns already in my stash, because one of the colors this year is a yarn that I already had in my stash and I've been looking forward to using for a long time. So the yarn's already in my stash. It's all ready to go. All I have to do is swatch it before the 21st, and then I can start knitting as of the 21st, which means I have a lot of knitting I need to get done because I currently have 3 things on the needles. I have a pair of socks, I have my Harley pullover, and I have my Spice Trail sweater. I technically have 4 things, but one of them is currently in the not doing right now pile, and that's my wingspan, because it is so hard and takes up so much of my mental fortitude to follow that pattern. It's so complicated. And so I've been kind of waiting to work on it because I really don't want to stress myself out right now. I really want to just be doing fun, easy knits that make me feel really happy. And sometimes that's what I want. That's why the wingspan sits there and waits for me, because sometimes I do want to do something that's super challenging like that. That's not what I want right now. I'm also not 100% in love with the colors because of that yarn I chose is the Chroma from Knit Picks, and I didn't know the way the colorways kind of went on it, and it's smaller rows of color than I want. So I might even end up frogging it. I really don't want to. I've been working on it for over a year. So maybe I'll show it off sometime and you guys can kind of tell me what you think. So because this video ended up being a little bit short, I can give you a very small life update. Like I said, I went to Minnesota to see a friend of mine. I was there for a week. I'm fully vaccinated. He's fully vaccinated. Some people that we saw were fully vaccinated. So it was a really good time getting away, being, not a mom for a week, still a mom, still worried about my daughter, still talked about my daughter, still talked to my daughter. But it's nice to spend time exclusively with adults for at least short periods for me, which I get to do fairly often because I have a wonderful support system, and my in-laws watch my daughter for me all the time because they live close by, and we're very lucky in that sense. So we do get to spend time with adults fairly frequently, and my mother-in-law loves watching my daughter, so that's really great. But being able to go for a week, spend time with adults, go out to eat, have a few drinks, which I almost never get to do these days just because I don't drink much, so we don't really keep a lot of it in the house, because my husband doesn't drink almost at all. And so, it's just a good time. It was a good time. And then when I came back, my very good friend brought me a whole bunch of stuff from his mom's craft clean out, I guess it is. All I know is that there's fabric everywhere. Now, I have so much fabric, I need to iron and sort it all, and then he's going to come over and he's going to cut patterns for me, and we're just going to sew. There's some stuff we're going to make for ourselves and for our partners and all that stuff. So it's going to be like a fun sewing extravaganza to get some of this fabric out of my craft room, because right now things are chaos here. I've got fabric for some dresses for my daughter and her friend. I've got fabric for some masks for my friend whose mother passed away, and we're going to be going to the memorial at the end of the month, and they still want to be wearing masks. I've got other mask fabric over here. I've got other dress fabric over here. This I want to do something with soon. I made a beautiful skirt out of it a long time ago that I still wear from time to time, but it's just, there's just so much stuff. It's everywhere, and I'm overwhelmed, and I don't like when things get this cluttered. You should see my sewing table. There's a box of scraps down here that's insane. Everything is everywhere, which is also one of the reasons I haven't done a ton of vlogging and stuff, because it's a mess in here. I also have a video that needs to be edited. I'll put it up whenever. So yeah, anyway, I'm also going to be reorganizing some of this yarn. So I've got a bunch of yarn that I bought specifically for my 6-day sweater. My 6-day sweater is a sweater that I kind of developed combining 2 patterns from Stitch and Bitch, and it's the Howl and Cowl set. So the sweater from the Howl and Cowl set, the human sweater for the Howl and Cowl set, and then the sweater from the To Die For pattern. I made a few changes using both of those patterns to make this, I call it my 6-day sweater, because if I am knitting it every night for a certain amount of time, you know, if that's what I do after the kid goes to bed and I'm doing stuff with my husband, I just focus on this sweater. I can usually get it done in about 6 days, which I know is insane, but it's knit on size 13 needles. So I have 3 or 4 yarns just sitting here that are specifically for 6-day sweaters for me to make for friends or for myself. And so I got, while I was in Minnesota, I had bought too many souvenirs. I bought some yarn. That's my next video. So I bought some yarn. I bought some souvenirs for my husband and my daughter, searched for souvenirs for some of my other, you know, friends and stuff, but it just didn't work out. I still bought too much stuff to fit back in my suitcase since I was there for a week and I had a fairly small suitcase. And so I bought a second one. And what I ended up buying was this pretty pulling, like rolling craft cart that it's one of those that looks like a suitcase. They were at Joann's. They were like more than half off. I've been wanting one for ages, and I'm like, you know what, I'll pay for the extra, you know, suitcase to load up, and this is what I'm gonna do. This is gonna be my thing to get all the rest of my stuff home. I loaded that up with my dirty clothes and put all my souvenirs and yarn and stuff and the clothes I didn't use in my suitcase. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to load all of the 6-day sweater yarn. Every yarn that I bought for 6-day sweaters is going in that rolling luggage. The reason for that is now I can move some of my other yarns that maybe aren't business yarns, but that I also really like, or maybe even move my hand spun yarns to some of the boxes. Like this box here is mostly stuff for 6-day sweaters or for the chunky cowl from Outlander. I'm not really doing that cowl that much anymore. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that yarn right now, other than I might, you know, get rid of it, sell it off, give it away to somebody, whatever. There's more 6-day sweater stuff here as well. So I'm just hoping that I'll be able to give a little more, you know, sense to this behind me. I'm going to be getting some stuff out of my craft room, moving it to the basement. The basement is starting to get a little organized, so we'll see. So anyway, that's my life update. Things are really great right now. Thankfully, as the last, you know, the events of the last year start to wind down and the vaccination rates get higher in my state and in the places where my friends live, my stress levels are going down. And with my stress levels going down, my depression is kind of waning, which is good. And I'm starting to feel a lot more peppy and a lot better. And I feel like better about myself and about my crafts and about the things that I'm doing. And it's been a very good time. I'm in one of the best places I've been in ages. And I'm so looking forward to doing more videos. I'm going to be doing more podcasting as well. My husband and I have a podcast called Splainin' Movies to My Wife. You can look it up under Ridiculous Ninja Productions on SoundCloud. That's the best place to find us. We are on other podcatchers, but I have to fiddle with it a little bit because I didn't know what I was doing when I put them up, and it's like a different title for every single one of them. So go to SoundCloud. You can listen to Splainin' Movies to My Wife. It's Ridiculous Ninja Productions is what it's under, because we're going to be doing other podcasts under that umbrella as well. So, but right now it's just Splainin' Movies to My Wife. And it's really exciting. We're going to be doing a lot of really cool stuff. I believe the next episode we're going to be doing is on the unreliable narrator, which is an absolutely fantastic idea in movies where you're seeing things through the eye of the person who is telling the story, but they're telling the story from their skewed point of view. So it's the unreliable narrator. It's a very common movie trope, and we're going to be looking into movies that do it well, and maybe even movies that don't do it well. So the premise of Splainin' Movies to My Wife is that my husband is a film major. He went to film school. He, quote, knows how the sausage is made, and I like movies because they're pretty. I have decidedly bad taste in films, apparently. I don't believe I do. I think I have excellent taste in films. I think that the Mario Brothers movie is a gem, and I think people need to stop crapping on it all of the time. I also really like Tank Girl. Apparently Tank Girl didn't get a lot of really good, reviews either, but it's one of my favorite movies. So we've talked about movies. We've talked about video game movies. We've talked about like in depth about some things. Like our first episode ever was about James Bond, because I needed him to explain to me James Bond, like the ideas behind, because I never really watched a lot of James Bond as a kid. I didn't start watching it until I was a bit older. And so like the idea that are these all the same guy? Are they all a different guy? Does he have a different name? Is he getting plastic surgery? What's going on? So that's kind of the thing. That's the premise. We also talked about Sylvester Stallone movies, and we talked about let's see, what else have we talked? We did a really good episode. If you want to start with the podcast, like the first episode I think you should listen to is the even though the last third or quarter of it or whatever is the sound is off, is the one that's called Flamin' Hot Cheetos versus Diet Gluten-Free Graham Cracker, where we talked about Freddy versus Jason and Alien versus Predator, and it's hilarious. I have so much fun with that one. Another really good one that seems to get a lot of play is the Paint Your Wagon one we did. That's a really good one. Discusses a little bit about polyamory in movies, which is a really fun discussion to have. So anyway, I think I've rambled long enough. These Knitcrate videos always end up being half Knitcrate, half me rambling, because I want to have it be more than 10 minutes long. Why? I don't know. Anyway, that's the life update. And please check out the podcast if you have the time. It's usually episodes are about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes long. Fantastic if you're doing your housework or you're sewing or you're knitting and you don't want to be watching something actively on TV. I listen to a lot of podcasts when my kiddo's in the house and I want to be doing something in my ear that maybe she can't, do as well because she's watching one of her shows or whatever. And there's like swearing. That's the other thing though. I keep the swearing out of this channel. We do not keep it out of the podcast. So if you do have children or you listen to things in your workplace or whatever, you're going to want to have an earbud in. So catch me on social media. I am Be My Full Moon everywhere except for Ravelry and Twitter, where I'm Aoray. That's Aurai. Please hit me up on Ravelry. Friend me on Ravelry. If you're not on Ravelry yet, join Ravelry. I love Ravelry. It's such a great, thing to have. It's got so much information and it's so easy to find patterns and it's great. It's a great time. So hit me up there. And I will see you guys in the next video. And please check out the podcast, okay? Because we're going to be doing a lot this summer. And I love you guys so much. Keep crafting and let me know what you're making. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.